Well, hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you're dialing in from today. I see we have many overseas visitors today, as well as people from the German and DACH area. So welcome everyone to today's Data Plus Women event. I'm very happy to have you all here, and we will start in a second. As always, I will say a few words about Data Plus Women. So what is Data Plus Women Germany? My name is Heidi Kalbe. I'm an analytics evangelist and BI consultant with the Information Lab, and I am also a 2020 Tableau ambassador. I founded Data Plus Women Germany in late 2019 as part of the Global Data Plus Women initiative. And a couple of months ago, I was joined by my co-lead, Lea Zimmer, who you can also see in a picture here, and who is joining me as a panelist today. But what is Data Plus Women? Data Plus Women is an initiative that is aiming to offer women a community around their work in data. So we try to offer a platform where they can share their knowledge and experiences, celebrate their successes. And while this initiative originated in the Tableau community, it is open to people from all backgrounds. We do have a Tableau-centric topic today, but we try to keep it diverse topic-wise as well. And it is not just about women. We are aimed at people of all genders because we're all united under one common goal. We are trying to advance diversity in the data community. So we are trying to offer a platform to all minorities, whether that be gender or age or language or ethnicity or academical background or any other kind. We hope to help people find a secure foothold in the world of data, build their networks, and discover opportunities. As always, I like to quote Emily Kuhn here, one of the founding mothers of Data Plus Women. And she said, it's data plus women, it's not data minus men. So again, everyone welcome, and I'm happy to welcome you all to today's event. So what's on the agenda for today? We have Annabelle Rincon with us. So welcome, Annabelle. I'm very happy to have you here. And she will talk about LODs. Striking the right note. We will also have a quiz afterwards, so you can win something there. I'm not trying to reveal the winning prize, and Annabelle will lead you through the quiz. If you have any questions throughout the session or about the quiz or anything else, we will have a Q&A with Annabelle afterwards. And as always, I will finish up the evenings with some announcements. And afterwards, you are very welcome to stick around for some informal networking. And with that, all I can say is it's great to have you with us. Have a lovely evening or whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. And with that, over to you, Annabelle.
Thank you very much, Heidi. I'm very proud to be here today. So let me share my screen. It's hopefully I do something wrong. I usually do something wrong. So I think now you can see my screen. So the topic of today, it's strike the right note. Yeah, you will see why we are like taking this music metaphor, because we have a music data set to play with. So Heidi already introduced me. I will go very fast. I am leading the Tableau Center of Enablement for Swiss Bank. My patients are my dog, Tableau, and chocolate. Maybe not on the right order. Let's see. And I'm also co-leading two initiatives, Data Plus Women Zurich and the Analytic Tableau User Group. Here are the QR code if you want to join. So let's go, because we have a lot to cover. I don't want to be kicked off. So the agenda for today. So you see, I do a PowerPoint in Tableau directly. It's much more easier for me. I don't have to switch over to presentation. So the agenda for today, we will review together some basic concepts about LOD. And I will have the first example with very well-known data set of you if you are playing with Tableau. But that's just for the basic concepts. And after we will go very quickly to this music analysis and this music dataset. So let's see. The first time I heard like LOD, I say level of what? What are you? What is that? So when you talk about LOD, level of detail in Tableau, you have to understand the difference between the different level of detail. But here I'm speaking about level of detail of the data, of the visualization and of the calculation. And it's important that you understand the difference. So if we go for the second one, so the level of detail of the data, we are talking about the granularity of the data. And for instance, if we take the Superstore dataset that you all know, every row is a transaction. So the level of detail of the data, it's the product level. It's at the product level, and it's not at the order ID, because the order ID can have different products. So it's very important that you understand that, because when the first things I do when I discover a new data set, it's try to understand the granularity of the data, because depending on that, the calculation will the calculation depend on your granularity. So it's important that you understand. The second one is the granularity of the visualization. Here I have very simple, the sum of sales by segment, meaning that the granularity of the visualization is at the segment level. If I had something in my view, the granularity will change. So what affects the level of detail of my visualization? Everything that is in pink here. If you add something on page, on column, on rows, obviously if you add something in detail, in color, in size, in text, everything will impact your level of detail of the visualization. And then, it is our topic today, the level of detail, the operation. So here, level of detail are very important, expressions are very important, because they will be able to give you control over the granularity that you have in the view. And they are very useful, often for calculating some cohort analysis. For instance, if you want to determine what was the impact of the customer that you acquired in 2020 in the sales in 2021, this kind of analysis. Or if you want to calculate the total or the average across certain segment when your visualization display another level of detail. So just want to be sure that we are on the same note, that the level of detail can be very demanding in terms of performance. So because they are calculating using the data source level query and not the query that you have in the view. So often it's quite demanding. So I recommend that you can use it, totally fine, totally fine with me. But if you have a problem in with your performance, you can check if it's not the level of detail or remove all the level of detail of operation that you are not using at the end. Okay, so you have 3 levels of detail. The fix, the exclude, and the include. We will see the difference on the next on the example, but I just wanted to show with you the syntax. So you have this bracket, the keyword that you have to specify, the dimension, and then the aggregation expression. Let's see with an example, it will be much more clear. So here I have, like I said, I promised 3 examples on the global Superstore dataset, the rest on the music dataset. So here I have this map. Each city, so each dot, it's a city. And for each city, I have the sales, the sum of sales, and the profit in color. That's fine, I can hover and check that in Amiens, in France, we have $1,700 in sales, that's fine. But what if I want, in my tooltip, to integrate something else? If I want to integrate the sum of sales for the full country, for full France. Obviously, each dot is a city, so I will need an operation that allowed me to change this aggregation. So the fix LOD will allow you to specify the aggregation or the granularity independent of the field used in the view. I will fix my calculation to a certain level. So let's do that together. Create calculated field. I will just write that. We'll try to make it bigger. Sometimes it works. Yeah. So I just start to write fix, and Tableau already put the bracket. So here I want to fix my calculation on the country level. And I want to calculate the sum of sales at this country level. Just select, I close my bracket. I hit OK. I will like change that, otherwise it's not very convenient for me. So now I just have to drag and drop my fix into my tooltip. And if I hover on friends, now I have on my tooltip what is called fix LOD that I will be able to rename, obviously, that I have 858,000. That's fine. In LODs, you want maybe to control if what you are doing is correct. So you can totally duplicate as cross tab. And you have the same. So here, for instance, for the country Algeria, you have all the cities. And you see that my fix LOD, it's really fixed at this country level. And if I would select all the city that belong to Algeria, I find again this 36,000. So that was for the fix. For the include, now, you may encounter this kind of business challenge. Here I have the sum of sales by segment, but I want to calculate the average of the sum of sales by category across the segment. Yeah, but category is not in my view. So what I would like to do, so I show you, like you will tell me, hey, Annabelle, it's easy. I just have to add a category, right, into my view. And what you want is the average line by pane. Yeah, that's true. That's what I want. But I don't want to add category. I want to be able to calculate this to a different level. So I want to include category into my calculation. It's here where I will use this new LOD expression. So include, calculate the result at a level less aggregated. So I include level of detail in my view. So I just write again, include, Tableau will understand. I include my category and I put sum of sales. I close the bracket. And when I have my include, I just have drag and drop. And obviously here, you will tell me that, hey, something is weird because for include and exclude, I need to specify the aggregation. That is very important. And what I said at the beginning, I want the average. So when I have the average, I have again the data that I had when we add category and these average lines with this 2,169,000. For the exclude now, it's a little, you will see, it's easy. So here you have a different case. I have the sales for each category and subcategory. But I want to calculate the sum per category. So what I want really here is to exclude this subcategory detail, but I still want them in my view. I know I can be complicated. So what I want is to display this 4 million. So how I do that? Again, very simple. I didn't write it correctly, but fine. Here I need to write it correctly. So I will just write exclude. What I want to exclude is this subcategory. I write what I want. I want the sum of sales. And I will close the bracket. So I can drag and drop into my view. And here, don't worry. Sometimes I trick myself a little. You will see. So here it's because you had like the text, the label already on. So you just have to click on show mark label. And now I have my 4 million display. And you can also hover to see that I have my 4 million. But you can argue here, yeah, but Annabelle, we could have used a fix. Yes, that's true. Let's check that and see the difference. So if I create my fix demo tree, so be like this, and indeed I can create a fix. This time I fix this calculation on the category level because that's what I want. So if I just write the sum of sale, I close my bracket and I add it again. I have again my 4 million. So what is the difference? The difference is that, you see, if I play, you haven't noticed maybe, on the right-hand side, I have a subcategory filter. So if I play a little with my subcategory filter, and I remove, let's say, bookcase, you will see that the exclude calculation will change, but not the fixed calculation. And that's why, because the exclude calculation is dependent of the level of detail of the V's, whereas the fix, it's totally independent. And that's also related to order of operation. Here I had a dimension filter. So if I change my filter, my exclude will be computed after the dimension filter, whereas the fix is computed before. So that's why it's not being affected by the dimension. So now that was all for the Superstore dataset. Let's go to the music dataset, because I would like to answer some business question now that we have reviewed the basic. Let me just drink a little. I have a tendency to speak too quickly. So the data that I have for you today, it's about music. We will have like some singers, the decades, the name of the songs. From time to time, I will use like a different field that's called songs and performer to be sure that they are unique, because the songs, for instance, Ego could have been a song by Elton John, but maybe by some other artist. So to be sure that the calculation is like on the song and performer, I will use from time to time this one. And we have information of how many weeks they have been on the Billboard, US Billboard chart. We have also information about the dates, the weeks, and everything. So the question that we will answer with you today is like, which year was the most prolific in terms of songs? How long does a song stay on the Billboard chart? When the first time it arrived and the last time it arrived? Once in the chart, what is the rank evolution? That's also an information that I have. So did they stay very strong on the top, or what happened? We will see also that some songs persist over the decades. And we will also use LOD to compare songs between each other, or determine which singer had the highest number of successful songs. You will see everything. So let's go. I start with which year was the most prolific. So here I already prepare a little the view, or else I will stay 2 hours here. So you have like, okay, the decade, the year of the week, and the number of songs that I have. So for instance, in the 1980s, I see that I have 547 songs, different songs. So you can already see, like just like doing like this, that you have like, yeah, the 60 was very prolific maybe on terms of songs. And because it's like, it's not like per se the number of songs that was produced in the 60, but really the number of songs that were on the Billboard, meaning that there is some songs maybe that stay very long or very short amount of time. So here I have like just the number of songs. And obviously I can do like, okay, I want the percentage of total. So I just right click here, quick table calculation, percent of total. Fine. But what if I want to select a decade, the 70s, for instance? What will happen? If I select a decade, the percentage is recalculated to have like a total of 100%. But it's not what I want. What I want is when I select a decade or several decades, I still have this percentage because I want to maintain the percentage of total. So how I do that? I do that by fixing the total on my full data set. So how I do that? I already answered it. Huh? I told you that I want to fix the total. So I will use a fix LOD. You will see, we will see like we will use the 3 different LOD to do that. So I want to fix the total. Here I don't put any dimension because I want it to from the full database. And I can just drag and drop or like write again these songs and performer. So when I do that, I have like the total of songs that I have on my data set, which is 27,000 songs. And if I will just select the 60, you see my total is maintained. And it's exactly what I want. So now I can recalculate this percentage by using, again, my count of songs and performer. I divide by this new total that I have. I can just drag and drop. Let's be smart here. So that is a use case that I encounter a lot at work that they often ask me to maintain, and that can be achieved with LODs. So if we just like give it like a nice twist, and we change the format to percentage with 1 decimal, you see, or 2. So you are sure that I'm not lying. Not try to hide something. So now my percentage is maintained here on the right hand side, whereas it will not be maintained on the left hand side. And exactly what I want. Okay, that's the first use case with LOD. The second use case that you can do is like you can answer some questions like, yeah, what is like kind of the duration? It's not exactly the duration because the duration will be totally the number of weeks. So here I have the duration, the exact duration. If I just had that, this song says 12 weeks on the Billboard. But what I want is like to calculate the first time a song appeared on the Billboard and maybe the last time also. How we do that? So first time on board. So when you are like doing a dashboard, I really advise you to give good names and sometimes also some description. So how we calculate the first time a song has been on board, you fix, again, you will see I really like fix, but I will use all of them, don't worry. So I fix to my song and performer, and I fix by calculating what? The first time it has been on board. So for me, it's a minimum of week because I have the information on the week level. So when I add that, I can simply now drag and drop that into my view, put it exact time, and I have like the first time every song has been on board. I can totally calculate the last time on the Billboard. It's exactly the same, you see, but the only difference is this max that I have here. I already done it to hunt some time, and I can just drag and drop again here, change it to exact date, and have it like on a dual axis. So don't forget with dual axis to synchronize your axis. And what you can see, and yeah, what I don't speak really about duration sometimes is because songs could come in and come back again and come in again, so different times. So it's not per se continuous. So that's why I prefer like to analyze it like this. But okay, so for instance here, you see already some interesting thing. For instance, this Bonnie and the Jet from Elton John appear on chart in February and stay until like almost 4 months on the Billboard chart. So the top 100, I think it was very good. But you see other ones. And you see some of them, for instance, like this Candle in the Wind that has been revamped in 97, that stay very, very long. So it's arrived in October and it lasts 42 weeks on chart, which is quite big. And you have 2 versions of it. So the first version stay also quite long, 21 weeks. So that's a version that Elton John wrote for Marilyn Monroe. But this one that he did almost a decade later, it's a one that he rewrote some part when Princess Diana died. And I think it's quite interesting to see the impact of these songs on the Billboard. So, but we will come back later with this one. So then one of the analyses that I have, like I say, okay, so I see that this candle in the wing stay quite long, but what about his ranking, his position during all these weeks? So that is a question that we can totally answer. So here I have the week position. And let's drag and drop my songs into the view. And also the week. And if I put exact date, it will be better. So you see that all the songs have this tendency to arrive on board. For instance, if we take Bonnie and the Jet, the first time he was on board, he arrived already at the 69th position. During the week, he go up until the first place, and after some time, he go down. But here it's not very easy to compare because they all arrive to different weeks, obviously, different years, and you want like to normalize them. So how we can do that? It's calculate the number of weeks it stays since a release. So you all harmonize it. So we will create a calculation. Since release. And I will just create the date diff in terms of week. So I want the difference of week. Since is release, so the release is the first time on board that we calculate together. And we will do the difference with week, that is my time. So if I have since release now, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, today I'm okay. Oula. And no one said that I'm doing a mistake, huh? Okay. So now we are here. Sorry. Sorry. So I can do it again so people are not confused because I was not very quick. Sorry. So when I was here, exactly when I was here and I wanted to drag and drop my since release, because I have a lot of data on the database, what I want that is this is convert as a dimension, or at least to not the sum, but really as a minimum, that's fine. And now I just have to remove this one. These songs and performance, I don't need it to have it on the view, I wanted to have it on the detail. And now maybe it seems weird yet to you, but you will see. So here we could analyze already something. So all the songs have this tendency, like we already see, that they arrived on board, like maybe that's already like, usually they arrive between like this 60 position place. Sometimes it's very good and they arrive very high or very high, you will see. But they all follow these steps. And we say that after 10 weeks, the majority start like going down, but some of them are quite successful and go down only when they reach these 20 weeks since release. You have some exception, and some quite interesting songs are the songs that we mentioned together before, the songs containing candle. I just highlight these two songs. So this one is the first version of Candle in the Wind in red, that you say that stay quite long and has this curve that is not so fast at the beginning and obviously going down. But this one is much more interesting. That means that this Candle in the Wind, the second version, arrived on chart. It was so impactful for people that it arrived on chart already on the first position and stayed quite long. It stayed like 13 weeks. And after it go down very, very slowly, and it stayed like 40, I don't remember, 41 weeks on chart. So that's a kind of analysis that you can do with LODs, so to compare and to reharmonize everything since the release date, for instance. And yeah, so here, like again, these songs are quite similar, but are not belonging to the same decades. So I start wondering if that happened a lot. Those are songs that have been published on a certain decade, come back and not only come back, but come back and make it like on the top 100 on the ranking. So here I have per decade and per week, per year, sorry, the number of songs that we have. And what I am interested in now is like to calculate the first decade. So that is totally a cohort analysis, because I want to see for the one that were created on the certain decades, which impact they have on the other decades. So I already created a calculation, but again, it's very easy. It's the same than before, almost the first week, but now it's the first decade. So I just take the minimum of the decades. So if I put that into color, and I can, the color, I can now already see that obviously the majority of them, for instance, in the 60s, we have almost only 60 songs, but we have some from the 70s that's still on chart or come back on chart. Here you can see that it's very small, so you see that there is some different color from other decades. So we will like give a little more sense, and we will create a calculation that not from this decade, just to remove that, and that is already clear. So how to do that? We just check if the decade belongs to the first decade. And we will just keep it if it's false, because we want to see the other one. And now we can totally just right click percentage of total and tell Tableau that you want the percentage of total like this. So now what we can see, and I think it's quite interesting, for instance, if we look at these 2010s data, we see that we have data. So on 2013, for instance, we had a lot of songs so that were published for the first time in the 80s, but come back on that period. And we can check some of them if we go, for instance, for this 80s. And it's quite interesting. So if we check, okay, so in 2016, a lot of songs from Prince come back. And sadly, they come back because Prince died in 2016. So when a major artist die, often their songs are like make it back on the top. It's not always the case. So if we look at that, we will, I will publish a dashboard so you will be able to see it. The same happened for Michael Jackson, the same happened for George Michael, but we have also other interesting and not so sad information, which is not this one. This one is for George Michael. I try to remember which data I have. I have also some that are David Bowie. I forgot that with Bowie. We lost a lot of great singer in these days. We have also one that are from, I would like to remember the date. Sorry, I should have noticed. Let's give a different try, and if it's not working, I will tell you. We had from, yeah, I don't remember the date, but it doesn't matter. Another one was from Bohemian Rhapsody, when it was the movie went up, the songs also come back, and you are able to see it in the data. Maybe someone can very quickly check on internet which date it was. Otherwise, I will try to figure out. I cannot see the chat, so I don't know. It's okay. If you tell me later, I will be able to come back. And at the same time, I would like to already give like, so that doesn't, it's not part of the quiz, but I would like to make it as a nice transition for later. I still have a business case to show. Could someone guess what are the songs from the 50 or the 60 that are come back regularly every year and make it on the top 100? But that I will continue on. You will tell me if you want. So let's see if some people answer this question. Okay.
Sorry, if you wanted to know about Bohemian Rhapsody, yeah. So the movie came out in 2018 and the song came out in 1975.
Exactly. So it should be this one. I could see it. Aha, you see it on the data. Thank you, Heidi. I know that I could count on you. So, now I'm back. It's quite, you need a lot of energy. Huh? So now, LODs are also very useful when you want to compare things between each other. So let's imagine, again, I always take Elton John. I'm sorry, I really like this song, this singer. So here, let's say that I want to compare the songs between each other. So I want to be able to compare the number of weeks since release. So let's take since release. I will just take the max just to have the information. So here I can already see that, for instance, Candle in the Wind, again, I don't do it on purpose, that's very fun, stay like 20 weeks on the chart. And I want to be able to, when I click on Candle in the Wind, I see the difference between the one that I selected. So to do that, I will do it. I try to move away with this little video that I see, but that's fine. So I already create a parameter to go very quickly. And one of the visualization I will do is like, is it the song that I selected? So is it the selected song? Or just like to give like a nice twist. So I can say, is the song equal to my parameter? So to compare, it's a true-false calculation. I just have to drag and drop into my view. And I can also change the color very quickly. You don't need to have something. Oh, I hate this color. Okay, let's go for this one. So, and then I just have to change a little my parameter action. So I already created, but it's like just add action, parameter action. And I said, when I will click, my field songs will affect the parameter songs to compare. So now if I click on this one is the one that is selected. So what I need to do is have the value of the selected. So selected since release. So if I do that, I will just create if selected song, then take this release, else, and don't do that. Take just this release. Up. else 0, and I will divide it in other part. Now this calculation, what I need to do, so obviously if I do it like this, you will see I have maybe a little problem. It's not working. Why? Because I have the songs in the view and I want to exclude them. And I want to exclude this detail in my view. So how to do that? I just give like exclude song selected. So how to do that? It's again, I will use an LOD, but this time not the traditional fix, but the exclude. So I want to exclude songs, and I want to take the max of the selected since released. And if now I drag and drop this exclude into my view, you will see, hey, Annabelle is not working, but it's not true. It's not working because I have into color selected songs. And as you know, you remember, exclude is always affected by the level of detail of the view. So if I remove it, oh, look at that. So now I will be able to compare and make the this difference that I want to do, because now for all the songs, I have the value of the selected one. So now I can just create my difference between with the selected, okay, where I just have to write minus. Okay, and now that I have my difference that I can remove, and I'm able just to change the visualization, so something more traditional maybe, and have it in detail. And now when I select the last songs, I know how the other songs relate to this one. And that has been able to, we have been done it with exclude. So the last one, before that, I ask to see if someone guess which songs make it again and again. On this last question, I would like to know which singer has the biggest success. And obviously not in terms of the number of songs they produce, otherwise Glee will win from my database, but in terms of, yeah, the number of weeks, each songs, the number of songs that have been successful. And my criteria to being successful is like, if a song stay more than 20 weeks on chart, because we have seen that on the curve, it was more or less this threshold. So if a song stay more than 20 weeks on chart, I want to consider it, and I want to see by singer how many songs, successful songs on this criteria they have. So to do that, I can see already you hearing, Annabelle, I don't have songs in the view, how I do that, right? So if I create a calculation that is different weeks per songs, exactly, I don't have songs in my view, I will include it. So here I have to take care and take songs and performer, like I said. And what I want is to calculate the difference in terms of weeks. So I will say how many weeks it stays in total minus the target. And the target is a parameter that I already created before. Okay, you see it's violet, it's a parameter. I just have to close. And now I have my include here. And I can totally say that is not correct, that you're right. Because that's not what I want. So now, sorry, I thought that I have almost finished, I get excited and I lose concentration. That's bad. So here now I have the number of pair songs I have for each of the songs, the difference between is the weeks it stay on board and this threshold. So what I want to know now is per singer, the number of his successful songs. And to do that, I just have to create a new calculation, number of songs above threshold. Okay, and I will just right. If I have to say that I'm dyslexic, and that's true. So that's why I often confuse, but yeah. So now I can just use my calculation that I just created with you. And this calculation is higher than 0. That means that the song is above the threshold. I count 1, otherwise I count 0. And this is the calculation that I need to sum. So if we have a look, Glee has 0 songs that stay more than 20 weeks on board. Whereas Drake or like Taylor Swift or even Mariah Carey have 13 songs. So after you can play around and maybe create the ratio to see which one was the most successful. So just by dragging and dropping these two calculations. And I have to say that I'm quite proud of my favorite singer, who has like, okay, 10% of these songs that are like successful according to my criteria. So that is like the end of my presentations on LOD. So do we have some good answer idea about which song is back and back again?
We do have a suggestion. So Colleen guesses that it might be Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas.
Close, but not correct. So it's the one from the 50. It's the one from the 50, and it's about Christmas. Yes, indeed. But it's not this song because not from Mariah Carey. It's like
Rebecca guesses Bing Crosby.
Jingle Bells from Bobby.
Close enough.
Yeah, and from the 60s, I think Around the Christmas Tree. Yeah, but it's like very close. So, okay, so now it's time for me to close that and share this game, right?
Yeah, let's get on that.
So I try to share my screen. So I will just present this one, but I have to show the question on the other side otherwise. So if you want to join the quiz and win like an awesome prize, and I think it's very cool, I think that I don't oversell it at all. You can join in Slido. And so I think that, should I go to the next or not? Activate the quiz, yes. So we see when people start to join, and when ID will consider that enough people have joined, I will start with the question. Come on, only 2 people. You can do better. You just have to scan that. Even me, that I'm more than 40, I know how to scan. Maybe I will tell the story later when it's not recorded.
What do you say, Annabelle? Should we tell people what the prize will be, or do we want to keep them in suspense a bit longer?
I mean, apart from being recognized, having won this game, I mean, one of the questions is quite difficult, apparently. So last time I ran it, I didn't run it publicly. No one guessed all of the 7 questions. So let's see. I think that I suppose that the people that are not joining because they don't want to participate. I mean, you can tell idea it's you providing the prize, so you can totally tell the prize.
Okay, so we have a fantastic prize for you today. So the winner of this quiz will receive a free e-learning code for the Tableau e-learning platform, valid for 12 months, starting with your activation. So whoever wins, please reach out to me afterwards so that I'm able to send that to you. Feel free to send me your email. Either do it via the chat here or reach out on LinkedIn or any other way. So that's a value of about 120 US dollars. So pretty big winning prize that we have for you today. And big thank you to Tableau for sponsoring that. Okay, 20 people, I guess. Annabelle, do you want to hit it off?
Oh, yes. So I will show you the question, and after I will eat, so you will have like the full 20 seconds. Or maybe no, maybe I will be mean and don't do that. So here you have like which graph make it easier to determine which studio has the highest growth. About 1 for the unsorted bar chart, 2 for the sorted bar chart, 3 for the pie chart, and 4 for the dot plot. I try to do my best. So let's see. 88% it for the sorted bar chart. That's great. And let's see who was the fastest. So that was the correct question. Yes, indeed. Sorted bar chart make it easier to compare. And Rebecca was the fastest. But still, there is like, they are very, very close. So next question. Which graph make it easier to determine which region are unprofitable? About 1 for the blue-orange diverging bar chart, about 2 for the red-green diverging bar chart, and about 3 for the gray-orange bar chart. And here there is like a trick. I said unprofitable. Yeah, you see some people like it one very fast when we want the orange-gray bar chart, because we want to focus on the unprofitable only. We don't care about the profitable. So these two are good, but the gray one, it's a little better. According to Annabelle. So no, just kidding. So next question. The leaderboard, sorry. You will have a lot of time, so you have to be very fast for the next one. So Rebecca is still on the board. Nino has a gray, is on the second. So take care, Rebecca. Be fast for the next one. So which graph make it easier to determine which region have reached the target? Sales versus target, about 1. Now with the region and the measure reverse for 2, or with this weird graph for 3. So 80% vote for the third one, which is a bullet graph. That's also the correct question, and it's true that it makes it easier to compare the sales. The sales are represented in bar. The line represents the target, and you can have like a different color to highlight if the sales are like higher than the target. So Rebecca are very fast. Nino conserve his second position, and we have 1 U on the third one. Yeah. So next question. The next question. When was created the box plot? 1, 1952, 2, 1982, 3, 1992, or 4, 1972. I don't even remember. Oof. So, yes, the 33% of the respondents answered it correctly. So this one was not the majority. And it was created by Marie-Eleanor Spear. Yeah, good one. We have a good audience, huh? And Rebecca, it's rocking. Well done. We have some change on the leaderboard with VS and Vincent now, but quite good. The next question. When was created the first chloropet map? Was it in 1926, 1826, 1996, and 1986? I did the quiz and I don't even remember. I know I'm mean. So the majority vote for 1826. And it's a correct question. Answer, yeah. And it was invented by, the earliest known chloropet map was done by Charles Dupin, a French guy, in 1826. I'm not Chauvin, it's just my accent. I was born in France. So let's see the ranking. Rebecca, you didn't guess correctly this time. So DG, it's like first, but it's not, you still have to question. And yeah, so DG first, Rebecca second, and Zizi third. Let's see for the next one. The next one is Florence Nightingale created the polar chart in 1859. But do you know what this chart represents? 1, cause of death during childbirth. 2, public expenses. 3, cause of death in the Crimea War. Or 4, public sanitization. Yeah, that's the one that when I ran it the first time was not so. Yeah, so the correct answer is cause of death in the Crimea War. So Florence Nightingale was a nurse, and she did very also a talented mathematician. But this one, it's about cause of death, in the Crimea War. Yeah, she also worked on this public sanitization, but that's not the subject of this. So let's see the ranking. Yeah, like as expected, this one, the top answer, it most probably too quick and didn't guess correctly, but yeah, DG, Rebecca, VS, let's see the last one. So the last one, it's about Charles-Joseph Minard, a French civil engineer, makes significant innovation. What is the most famous visualization of Charles-Joseph Minard? 1, analysis of the cattle transport to Paris for consumption. 2, analysis of the railroad. 3, Napoleon Russian campaign. Or 4, Hannibal War. And so, no, the most, also, here there is also a trick, because all of the 4 analyses have been done by Charles-Joseph Minard, and they are quite good. But the one that is the most famous for is this Napoleon Russian campaign. And by the way, these two, the map of Napoleon Russian campaign and the Hannibal War, are together on the same this. I have it here. So you will see both are together. That was not at all intended. So let's see who win. So that's the correct one. And the winner is VS with 5 questions out of 7, and it was the fastest. And now I will stop sharing, I think. And I will see if you have any questions for me.
Well, thank you so much, Annabelle, and big congratulations to VS. Please remember to reach out to me. You can either do it via the chat or via LinkedIn or any other way. If you Google Heidi Kalber, you will be able to find me somewhere. So do reach out, let me know your email address so that I can give you your winning prize, the code for 12 months of free e-learning. Well, we have many, many compliments for you, Annabelle. Vincent said that this is the most succinct explanation of LOD functions that he's seen. And Christy agrees. She said very early on that this is the best presentation of LODs she's ever seen and understood. And she asked, and I think you answered that in a side comment. Will you make this workbook available afterwards?
Yeah, I think I will put it on my Tableau public, or I will put it on my blog, but yes, one of the two. Remind me, people can reach out to me in Twitter and say, where is the dashboard?
So I'm guessing I will probably reach out to you, Annabelle, so that I can put that in the follow-up email. So again, as always, I mean, you all know the procedure. You will all get an email in a couple of days, maybe this week, at the latest next week, with the link to the recording and the link to the workbook. So you'll definitely be able to delve into everything. We had a couple of questions about context filters. Can you tell us something about context filters, Annabelle?
Oh yes, they are your best friends. So context filters are very useful. So you remember when I show you the example, I can reshare maybe the screen. Oh, I wanted to stop sharing, but it will be faster.
You can do it again, Annabelle.
Yeah, I can do it again, yeah. I will need maybe a 5-minute break, and after I can do it. Yeah, you remember when I was showing you like that exclude and fix were quite different because fix were not affected by, it was totally independent with the level of detail in the view, that whereas exclude were affected. In case that if you want to select appliance or art or whatever, and you want to impact the fix, you can do it just by right click here and add to context. And that's what the context filter are. It's a way to, you see, they are higher in the hierarchy. So if you want your context filter to affect either the top N or the fixed LOD, you have to transform your normal filter to a context filter. So I didn't lie before, but I forgot to mention that. Thank you to anyone who asked.
So can you give us any advice on how we can choose between using include or exclude or using a fixed LOD?
I mean, it really depends on your use case. At work, I would say that you have to go with what you are more comfortable. For a long time, I didn't dare to use this include and exclude because I didn't understood them. So I use only the fix, and it's okay. You can still do your work. But for the example that I showed you today, I think it makes totally sense to have them. And even like you are like always learning. To prepare the session, I learn a lot. So thank you for inviting me. So yeah, it's like the way it is, like just take some steps on really maybe transform your visualization on a table to see if the fix is doing exactly what you want to do. It's like small step, but after, yeah, it go fast.
Great. And then Violet had a question. She says that she once saw a fixed LOD calculation without any kind of dimension. I know you mentioned that. Can you tell us again what that means?
Yeah, that means that you do the fixed calculation on the full database, on the full data set. So if you, I think I did it for the total, I put fix, no dimension at all, 2 points and sum of sales. That means that this, it's really like done on the full data set, and you will have like the sum of sales or whatever you will have as an aggregation. Yeah, totally independent of any dimension.
Yeah. In that case, you can even leave the fixed out, yeah, even by just putting the curly bracket. That's already a fixed LOD for the whole data set. But for, let's say, understandability, it does help to put the fixed. Yeah. Okay, and we do have a question from Christy. So you asked Annabelle, which was the most successful singer, but you never told us. You just said that it wasn't Glee. So you have to resolve the mystery. Can you just let us know who has the highest percentage of songs over 20 weeks in the chart?
Most close to your art. No, it's not the correct answer. Oh, damn it. I mean, if you, on an analytic point of view, it will be most probably Taylor Swift, because she has 22% of her songs that have made more than 20 weeks on board. I can reshare my screen. But after, it's like in analysis, it's always like a lot of criteria. So, so it really depends what you want. So you see here, you have like Taylor Swift, that she has 22% of songs that make it on the top, that make it on the top 100, but for 20 weeks. And she has a lot of songs that reach the top 100. If you check, you say, yeah, but look at that, we have like other one that maybe have like a higher percentage, or maybe 40% or something like that. Yeah, but they don't have so much songs. So I will go for Taylor Swift, even if my heart will try to find like an explanation that is not, it's indeed is Elton John. But yeah, I have to say also that this data set, it's not very up to date. So maybe if we rerun it with like all the data available now, maybe the ranking will change. But you say you have Madonna also that are like, okay, 17%, but she has less songs. So
you're saying Elton John can still catch up to Taylor
yeah,
Swift?
yeah, I'm sure. He can, yeah. Sadly, he can catch up, but I don't want him to catch up yet.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, we do have another question. One of our attendees needs a little advice. They have just started learning Tableau, and this is the first time they've attended such a Tableau user group event and learned about LODs too. So apparently they've never heard about LODs before. They are feeling a little overwhelmed with so much information that you can find on the internet. So what would you suggest where they can reach out to if they want to learn more about LODs specifically?
So there is like a lot of channels that where you can learn. Obviously, if you already feel overwhelmed, you don't need more advice where to find it. So yeah, obviously you have YouTube, you have like a lot of blogs, you have like kind of good videos in YouTube from SQL something, Bell, I think. Yeah, I really like her. And you have also Tableau team. You have a lot, but if you feel overwhelmed, it's not a problem. Just stay back. Just like watch maybe a part of a webinar, learn something, come back tomorrow, learn something else, and little by little. You cannot learn or catch up with years of content like very like in 1 week. So just take your time, and you just reach out again and watch again, and there's a way you learn new things.
And we have a very generous offer from Velvet. So again, congratulations, Velvet, who won the quiz earlier. And they are offering to hand over their prize to the anonymous attendee who just asked this question. So if you will reach out to me, big thank you to Velvet for offering this. They are willing to hand you this prize, because as a completely newbie in Tableau, this will probably be of more value to you. So again, do reach out to me, whoever just asked this question, and I will hand over the prize. And thank you again to Velvet. Yeah, so on that question again, I mean, you can always re-watch this presentation and try to reverse engineer Annabelle's workbook. So again, coming out some point next week at the latest. One series that I would recommend to everyone on the more, let's say, advanced Tableau topics is Jim Dennis' series, 0 to Zen. He has, I think, 5 webinars where he explains LODs and order of operations, etc. So all the big guns that really do the great understanding. So yeah, after rewatching Annabelle's presentation, you should check out Jim's stuff. Okay, and that's all the questions we have today. So thank you again, Annabelle. I will show a couple of our next events. So let me just share my screen again. All right, so coming up tomorrow is a Tableau event for sports, women, and data, how to stay in the championship mindset. And you can register. I put the link in big and orange in the middle here. It's just 1 hour, and you can learn from real power women in the sports industry about how to stay in the championship mindset. Data Plus Women Germany also has a couple of events coming up. So again, always on the last Tuesday of the month, starting at 6 p.m. Central European time. We're sticking to that timetable. Our next event is on the last Tuesday of August, which will be August 31st. We have Samina J. Givala, and she will talk about data through the lens of men, how the data gap affects healthcare. And then another event at the end of September, so that's September 28th. We still have to announce our speaker. We have everything confirmed, but she's currently on vacation. So I'm still waiting for the last details, but you should definitely check that out. And you can already register for that event. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there. If you have any comments regarding this event or any wishes for our upcoming events, you can always participate and help us improve Data Plus Women Germany. All you have to do for that is fill out a tiny little survey that you can find under www.tiny.cc/improve-data-plus-women. So some of you wished, you can even hand in requests for speakers in there. One of you wished to have Annabelle Rincon as a speaker, and see what I made possible today. So we can make your wishes come true. I just need to know about them to help us improve this event and our upcoming events. With that, I can thank everyone again. Thank you, Annabelle, for being here today, for teaching us all about level of detail calculations. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you, Velvet, for winning and also handing out your prize. Again, anonymous attendee, whoever asked that question, please reach out to me through whichever channel you like, so that I can give you that, that prize. And with that, I will stop the recording in a second. You are all very much welcome to join us for some informal networking. I will make everyone panelists who wants to stick around, and we can chat a bit. So thank you.